Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Azine Williams. How are you all doing? Hope you guys are good. Hope you guys are fine. If you're new to this channel, kindly click on the subscription button, click on the notification bell to let you know whenever I post any new video. So tonight's reunion episode centered around the gossip of the season. Yes, guys, that had a lot of us asking, who is lying? That is the gossip about Fina and Groovy doing things under the duvet that was passed from Amaka to Chichi, from Chichi to Bella to Chumsy to Groovy, then back to Fina. Yes, guys. Then we also had the Amaka and Gidifya standoff. I would love to call it that, because even though there was, a Rachel and a Diana, somewhere in the mix, it was basically about Amaka and Gidifya. And then we had Chichi and Illebaye. Yes, guys, about the famous, fights that happened between them at the party, the Saturday night party that made Chichi call Illebaye a market woman and all that. And also, Rachel got to tell us, what it's like to be a rider. Yes, guys. But before I go into all of that, I'm just going to be begging multi-choice DSTV people, I beg. Suffer with the editing now. Haba. Like the cutting. It's not really flowing. Like tonight's episode had potential to be really, really interesting, but it's almost like there are things they just don't want us to see. I understand you have 25 minutes, to air it. We are not running. We want the drama. The thing is just sucking the life out of the reunion. Like something that had potential to be very interesting, dramatic. It just fell flat. I'm not even going to lie. Anyways, back to, the gist. So tonight, we started with a clip of Amaka, Fina, and of course Chichi in the level 2 kitchen, where Fina was confronting Amaka, asking her about how the gist of her and Groovy left from level 2 to level 1. And Amaka was explaining, saying that it wasn't her, blah, 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 and how, the others, Bella, Chumsy, Chichi, were denying it. So it was now time to talk about the elephant in the room. Yes, Amaka asked, Chichi about the whole thing. Chichi said how the information got to her was through Amaka. She said that she and Amaka were having a conversation where Amaka was inquiring about Gidifya and Diana upstairs, because she too had her eyes on Gidifya at the time. And she was also using style to tell Amaka to take care of Deji. Hope no guy or girl has their eyes on Deji and all that. So according to them, when Fina passed, that was where she was like, okay, what exactly is going on between Fina and Groovy? And according to what Amaka said, she told Chichi that they are now a couple and they do what couples do. Now, Chichi, where like a Proko pass anything, go meet her friend at that time, Bella, who also is a lover of her Proko. Told that one that, do you know that Fina and Groovy are now doing things? They are now doing what couples do. Now, Ebuka was like, okay, you see that what couples do? When you say, what couples do, now this question was directed at Amaka. What does that mean? And Amaka was like, what couples do, kissing and all that. And Chichi, on her own, said that it was the same thing that she told Bella. Now, when Bella was asked, she said no, she can't really remember, but she remembered her saying, they were kissing, they were doing a lot of things, having sex and all that. And Chichi was like, I never said that we or they were having sex. And Ebuka was like, okay, Chichi, are you saying that Bella is lying? Chichi was like, I never said that they were having sex. I only said that they were doing things that couple was doing. And Ebuka kept asking her, and she kept saying, I said that they were doing things that couples do. Now, Bella, Ebuka faced her and said, Bella, it looks like, Chichi saying that you're lying. And Bella was like, see, I don't lie. She actually said that they were having sex. She even demonstrated it, which Bella did the most hilarious thing and demonstrated it, and everybody was laughing. Yes, guys. And Ebuka asked Amaka, and Amaka explained the same thing that Chichi explained, and then it went back to Groovy. Now, Ebuka was like, before he goes to Fina, how does Groovy feel about all this? And Groovy, on his own, said, see, at first, he was not really taking offense to it, when Chumsy told him, and he wanted to know more. He was like, okay, tell me more. But, hearing that it came from Amaka was what actually hurt him because, like, why? Now, Ebukana asked Fina, I mean, you are the center of all this. What do you think? And Fina was like, about what? Which of the clips? And she said, and Ebuka was like, oh, the clip that you saw. And Fina was like, okay, see, the thing is, I just realized that the only person I owe an apology here is Amaka. And immediately, people of God, that was it. That was it. They went on a commercial break. I had to watch via DSTV because Showmax was messing up. I don't know if they have uploaded it now. I kept asking myself, there's no way that's the only thing that Fina said. Why are they cutting this now? This is one fight that literally contributed to Amaka being pushed out of the house. You remember, guys, that was one of the main reasons that made a lot of the housemates and viewers see Amaka as a liar. So now, why didn't they allow us to get to the bottom of this? I do not know. But from everything I got, it's just like Amaka told Chichi that Fina and Groovy are now doing couple things. Chichi added her own spices and told Bella. Bella, in order to protect her friend Chumsy, went on to add her own sugar and milk and everything and told Chumsy. Chumsy, being a girl that was feeling Groovy at the time, went to confront Groovy with it. Groovy on his own had to run back to his madam at that time and tell Fina. And Fina, as the warrior princess that she is, decided to confront everybody about it. So for me, that's exactly what happened. Now, when they came back from the commercial break, we saw a clip of Adekunle and Gidifya. Now, they were talking about Amaka, and Gidifya was like, he was tired of the whole thing. He doesn't understand how Amaka is behaving. Amaka is acting like there's a thing when there's nothing. I think the funniest part of that clip was when they were describing Amaka tying a towel and coming in front of the kitchen to be shaking her bum. Remember how Amaka used to do that? Well, everybody was literally laughing. Now, when it was time to talk about it, Gidifya was like, see, that he even said while the clip was playing, that he effed off. Even Diana was like, you see a light? Because in the clip, he was like, seeing everything that has happened between him and Amaka, he now realized how much of a strong friend he had in Diana. Now, that was back in the house. Now, watching it, Gidifya was like, oh, he really effed up. And Ebuka was like, now, do you accept you've effed up? He now said, no, not really. But I mean, he felt he effed up. He could have handled things differently, that he was overwhelmed and all that. That he feels like he owes all of the ladies an apology, because when Ebuka was like, okay, who do you actually owe an apology? And he said he owes all of them an apology. And when Gidifya was talking, Ebuka is, oh my goodness, Ebuka is a menace. Ebuka kept saying, in all this, Amaka is not laughing, no. Amaka is not finding it funny. It was really hilarious. Then it was time for Amaka to talk. Or before Amaka got to say something, Rachel, Ebuka asked if Rachel was buying into that. And Rachel was like, no. How can you say you're overwhelmed? He knew what he was doing and all that. And Amaka also kind of shared that sentiment, saying that, Gidifya was trying to play 3 different ladies, in the house. How can Gidifya, be lying down in between her and Rachel that he had feelings for? And of course, having Diana in the house, and he wasn't disturbed about it. It takes such effrontery that he knew what he was doing, that he was the master player. Amaka gave us lecture. She was like, you know what? I forgive him. I also forgive myself. I'm like, go girl. Yes, guys. And, in all that, Gidifya said that he apologized to Amaka back in the house. Did he? I mean, the only thing I could remember in all this, forgive me guys, the bathroom incident that happened between Amaka and Gidifya, where, Gidifya was like, in all this, Amaka, where was your microphone? And of course they did not play that, but that's just what I remembered in all this. Then I remember Ebuka also asked, Amaka, in that clip, you could see that Gidifya was saying that you were throwing yourself at him. And she was like, look at me now, Ebuka, check me out. Me, throw myself at him. that was when she now said she forgives herself for, getting herself into that, shitty thing, knowing that, later on, Diana admitted to her that she and Gidifya actually had a thing, despite denying it so many times. Gidifya was not really taking this thing seriously, honestly. The way I was looking at his face, he was still smiling about it. It's quite obvious that Gidifya is cool with Rachel and Diana, but he honestly does not rate Amaka. And I think the feeling is actually very mutual. Now, what do I think about this? Aside from, knowing that the feelings are mutual between Gidifya and Amaka did kind of like show herself at Gidifya back in the house then, even though, I think she did, because I remember we also talked about it then, how we felt like Amaka was not seeing what we were seeing, that Gidifya was not really into, her 100%. And I'm happy that Amaka has had such character development. I'm happy that she has grown a lot. She's much more composed, right? Like I remember then in the house, before Amaka could express herself, how she would feel. And I'm happy that she has learned over the months. And I'm proud of Amaka. Honestly, I am proud of her. Now, commercial break, we came back and it was Illebaye and Chichi. So apparently we are still dealing with that matter that happened. And Illebaye said, that it was not a planned work between she and Fina, that she just wanted to have fun. And knowing that she, Brian, Groovy, and Fina were up for possible eviction that week. So she just wanted to have fun. And she was like, she's used to doing that with housemates, going in between them to dance. And she just went in between Chichi and Groovy to dance, not knowing, according to what Illebaye said, not knowing that Chichi at that time had feelings for Groovy. Yeah, we didn't really hear any other thing about that. Anyway, so Chichi on her own, explained the whole thing, and Illebaye said, but I apologize. And Ebuka asked, did she apologize? And she said, yes. And she was like, Ebuka was like, okay, but you kept talking about it even when Illebaye was gone. And she was like, she came back the second time. And Illebaye was like, no, I remember I apologized to you outside in the garden when all this had happened, And that was when Illebaye said you should have forgiven Abi, you should have, forgotten about it or something like that. And she was like, you should not tell me. And Ebuka was like, oh, does that mean you've not forgiven her? And then Ebuka asked Illebaye, how did you feel hearing all the things that she said about you? And she was like, if she was there, like she couldn't have like said that. And Illebaye also mentioned about an incident that happened during their Pepsi presentation, that she came down from the stage and mistakenly stepped on Chichi's leg, and I noticed there was like, I don't know how to put it. Like when Chichi started responding, it was not like, how do I put it? It was not really adding up. It's like they cut out something from that part, and Chichi was like, girl, you stepped on me and all that, what's not. Yes, guys. So it's clear that there is no love lost between Chichi and Illebaye. They are not friends. And I don't think they've ever been friends. So yeah, then it was time for Rachel to tell us about how it was being a rider, and she started talking about how it was difficult. She talked about the level 1 people not being welcoming, not being the friendless, that if probably if she wasn't level 2, probably she would have done better, that it took her some time to be able to break through, but later on she got the hang of it. She talked about every other person had a pair during lockdown except her. So coming into the house and some hours before you get into the house, they tell her that she's about to be a rider. It messed up with her mind. And honestly, listening to her now, I kind of like understand and I feel for her, because she actually didn't plan to come as a rider. She actually came to win the money, and Big Brother decided, you're going to be coming there not to win the money, but actually to be a rider. Yes, guys. And in that instant, they showed us Modela's face, and I'm like, what the? Anyways, let me not talk about that. But yeah, that was the reunion tonight. Like I said in the beginning, let them easy on the editing. Let this thing flow. You watch something and there's really nothing exciting to hold on to. Like something that will make you, oh, this is the highlight. Let me watch again, tomorrow. Nothing of such, honestly, nothing of such. But anyways, it was cool. Did I enjoy it? I did, sort of. I mean, I'm super proud of Amaka despite everything. Yes, guys, did you watch the reunion? What was your highlights of the reunion. What do you think about it? Let me know in the comment section. On that note, I'd like to say a very big thank you to you all for being part of my channel. If you have not yet subscribed, kindly click on the subscription button, click on the notification bell to let you know whenever I post any new video. Until I come your way again, I remain your darling girl, Illebaye Williams.